Morning, folks. Well, we've got another cold, wintry, drizzly morning here, which is a perfect time to visit with you all. This will be the first in a series of long, drawn-out series of videos I have planned on sharing some of the information and knowledge that we have on how to do technical and practical, hands-on type of programs. This first one is going to be a really kind of a short piece of business. Robert Eversole, the Trailmeister, and I were in a conversation here a while back discussing some of the things he'd seen and been told by people that we kind of didn't agree with. Now, this isn't an idea here to start throwing cold water on anybody's ideas, but we'd like to share with you some of the things that have worked with us on this subject of breakaways, safety connections between the horse or mule and the next horse or mule in a pack string. So if you'll give me just a second, I'll put my coffee cup down and I will be right back. I'm gonna have to grab a pack saddle. I'm gonna set it up so we can set this up in front of you. Now, I want to apologize first. I know from watching YouTubes myself a lot over the years, I look for background things, and because of this weather and because my gang is soaking ass wet, I'm probably not going to be throwing a pack saddle on them today. So what I'm going to do is just use a lot higher saddle stand I have here. We'll throw a pack saddle on so you can get the idea. It's not, an animal isn't required or necessary, but we're going to head and go this way, and I hope it's okay with y'all. Okay, we're going to cut for a second here. Let me flop this up here forward a little bit. Line this up a little better here, maybe. Okay, let me clean all this rigging off. Put it away. If I don't get the rigging put away just right, I'll end up dragging it, stumbling all over it, and fussing a lot. Okay, the future, this is Josie's saddle. In the future we'll be talking a lot about pack saddles, how we adjust them to fit the individual animals, the rigging, how we make the rigging to fit the individual animals. We make all our own rigging and all our own girths here. You'll see here too that the sling ropes are probably put on in a different place. That'll all be discussed. So this project is going to be an ongoing. As time goes on, I'll add up more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. I'm going to try to empty out how we do everything for you and share it with you. So let's go back to the piggin strings. Start with a piggin string, or what they call breakaways. Depends on who's telling the story, how it's called. Starts out, in this case, being anchored to the front girth. Why the front girth? Because the front girth will normally be tighter than the rear girth. And so you want, when this comes tight, you don't want it to pull against something that's loose. You want this to come up again hard and fast. And then you can see the lead, it leads up over the top to the back. And in this case, I put an evener in right here to swivel back and forth. And this runs through a tab I got on the spider pad. Okay, enough of that. That's not the breakaway. So he's hanging down here. Now, this is what I call a tag line. And we will also be telling the stories about this. This is one of the handiest things you'll ever see, especially if you're running several animals. And here's my breakaway. Now, geez, Ed, that's a little piece of thread. Well, actually, that's all I need. I have an extra one tied off over here. And also I have in my saddle, on my saddle bags here, let me flip this up here for you. I have in this pocket, every beginning of a packing season, I fill this thing up. And I'll bring out, I cut myself about a foot, maybe 18 inches if I'm feeling generous, of 1/4 inch rope, manila. Again, manila, because it's very sacrificial. It'll break easy. Or if you have some sisal rope, well, basically let's just say fiber rope. I cut off about 1'18" of it and unlay it. So this would have been this is 1/3 of the strands of 1/4 inch, not 1/2 inch, not 5/8, not inch, one strand of 1/4 inch manila. At that point, I tie it to here. Tie it in between the breakaway and the tag line. This one's probably a poor one to pick. This one needs to be replaced before she goes back to work at all. This will be cut off, thrown away, put it back. And so this will then be tied between here and here. Well, let me just do it for you while I'm standing here. I usually bring them up fairly close. Just bring it through. Just bring it through the ring. Bring it through the eye of the tag line. And then just tie it off. I could tie it, just simply tie a square knot or whatever. Just as long as you can. And I usually throw an extra hitch in there for safety so it doesn't walk away. And there we are. Now that's like a fuse. If they get in trouble, this will break. I have had no trouble with these at all. And my theory is, if the animal wants to break away, needs to break away, they'll break away. Oh my God, I can't step on that. Oh, it's a hole. I step in it. They get scared. Pop. I don't care. I'll sort it out. I'll go back and hook them back up again. It's much better than if this was tied so hard that they laid back, starts messing around with the strings ahead of them, disrupting the string behind them. I'd rather have it break, go back and tell them he's crazy, silly goose, tighten back up again, and get on with it. If I'm having a lot of trouble, I will go twice in this. Only if I'm having a lot of trouble. So, I've heard it said that some people have told me they use up to a 1/2 inch rope in this piece of business. Now, I'm going to tell you this, that you judge for yourself. As always, with any of our material here, you judge for yourself. I want you to take 1/3 of a 1/4 inch rope, or one strand, tie it off, grab a hold of it, anchor that saddle down good, grab a hold of it, and try to break it. You're going to have yourself a wrestling match. Pulling back straight on that to break it. And at times, it's hard for them to break this. They don't, under normal circumstances, a well-trained animal working along down the trail, yada, 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 will not just up and break. And in fact, I've had them step off, get in trouble a little bit, and still not break the darn thing, because they're not, oh my God, the one back here isn't going, oh my God, it's breaking back. If this one follows, which they normally will do, they will follow. So the more, the bigger, the more size you put on this little pig string or breakaway, the more trouble you're going to get into if the animal back here decides it's time to leave the program because of risk to their health or well-being. At that point, if this is tied so hard, you might as well just forget it. She's going over. The ones that are probably going behind are going to go over, and they may drag this one over. And if you're just going to be ugly. So it's better to break them like this. Again, test it for yourself. Tie that off, pull back, and if your hand is strong enough, you don't mind getting hurt, pop it. If that's the case, that's the only way it'll break. That's the only way these break normally. A normal steady pull on these doesn't break them. Let me tell you a little story. Years and years ago, Miss Kitty she's in her mid-30s now, and she was trucking along in the pack string, and every time I turn around, she didn't break anything. She didn't break a single thing. So one day, pop, she was loose back there. I didn't feel a break, nothing, she just loose. So I got back there and I said, oh, what did you do that for? Why'd you break this? I had to crawl off my riding mule, go back and fix her up, and then I climbed back on, started riding off and said, I've never replaced that thing. So for a year now of long pack trips, steady trips all year, that darn pig and string just wore out. It just wore off, and the dang thing just fell off. So it wasn't Miss Kitty's fault. So here we go. We're gonna probably come close to the end of this, and I want you to pay close attention again. Test it for yourself. You decide for yourself. And I do believe some of these proponents of heavy-duty pieces of material in between here are short-cutting the need for training. If that's the case, if you're getting an animal that's popping away because they know they can pop away now and pop away, well, there's a couple things you're doing wrong. One of them is you're not preparing them ahead of time to not do that. One of the ways to helpfully do that is a lead and halter with possibly a chain or strap that makes them go, come on, let's come along nice now. Or taking this when you're home, getting ready, you need to prepare for these animals. You don't just grab them out of the field and yard them over there so you're a pack horse now or pack mule. You prepare them, you train them, just like any other animal or any other discipline. But if that's the case, tighten this up several strands while you're running around in the field or while you're running around at home on the flat land. But take it off and single it up when you go in the high country. You don't need to come by a trail that you like to ride and have a spot in that trail where you know you're going to visit your animal's mule, your mule or horse's bones. So just be careful. This is their only connection for safety between you and them. Okay, folks. I hope that's of some interest to you. We're going to be doing more for you. Have a wonderful day. Remember now, ride often, but remember, always ride safe. Good day.